Do you want to... Hey, Thomas.
Hi.
Hey. Do you want to talk about some beers?
Not really.
Okay.
The end.
Okay. Hey, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about some beers?
Not really. Say
I
not
mean,
really.
I'm-
Say not really.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'll talk about beers though.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're going to talk about Belgian Blond ales today. We have backup. We have Chrissy
Yo.
aiding us in our
I like
conversations about Belgian Blondes.
My favorite kind of blondes.
I would agree with that.
Belgian
Sure.
blondes. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know that I've ever gone for that. Maybe I should put that in my dating profile. Only Belgian blondes.
Only
Belgian
Belgian
blondes
blondes.
only.
It might be a little narrow here in St. Louis.
Truesies.
However,
Because everybody here is German.
talk about the Battle of the Bulge, right?
Yeah.
But like American Blondes, that's boring.
No.
You need a Belgian Blonde.
They just don't have any nuance.
No. just
Hi, I'm
bland.
Thomas.
I was talking about beer. What were you guys talking about?
I have no idea.
Dating profiles. Or flavor profiles. You know, it's hard to tell.
Ooh, I want to get on the
Nowadays.
app Flavor Profile.
Flavor profiles.
Anyway.
So, the Belgian blonde.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Belgian Blonde ales. We're going to drink a little Left Blonde because it is, I think, literally the only Belgian Blonde ale you can get in the St. Louis area.
Consistently, yeah.
Yeah.
There have been others.
At one point.
they've been rare.
There's like,
Is this like kind of a, how do I want to put this?
Interesting
A,
question.
don't know.
a hallmark of the blonde, Belgian blonde style?
A stalwart.
Fantastic word.
I would say so. Just,
Okay.
I mean, this is an AB InBev owned beer. So as a result, it is easier to get your hands on for sure.
Okay.
It's great though.
Despite it being an AB InBev beer, it is delicious and very nice.
Would you say this if this ended up being the only Belgian blonde you could get consistently and
Which it
often,
is.
it is. You'd be fine with it though. Like it's
Oh,
not
for sure.
ideal, but it's damn good.
It is.
Okay.
It is great. Like what?
And I love hating on AB. I really do.
Like I know there used to be like Affligum or however you say that. There used to be that
Oh,
beer in the
yeah,
area
yeah.
like years ago. Grimbergen was available kind of off and on.
Grimbergen.
Grimbergen
Damn, that's
made a
going
blonde.
back.
Yeah, but they were around. But that's like it.
There was some stuff from like this is a deep cut locally, but like IBU had some, and maybe like Shelton and a couple others. They had like weird
Yeah.
Belgian singles, but you don't find them very often because
They're few and far between in the area for sure.
I'm just saying, if you have shelf space, are you going to give it to a weird Belgian single or a 17.5 PA? It's probably that IPA.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
being said, I have no problems with this beer. It is crystal goddamn clear.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of the style.
I can actually see a reflection through your beer.
Why Left Blonde doesn't have more support behind it is ridiculous to me. This or like Hugarten or Bass. You have great classic beers that AB does nothing with, and fine, that's their choice. But this is legitimately, I'll drink the shit
Do
out
you
of this.
think it's because IPAs have become... People want a flavor burst in their mouth.
Why
whereas-
this doesn't get
Yeah,
traction?
why this doesn't get the play that it should.
It's a little bit more nuanced. I think it's also
Because it's not a flavor bomb.
I don't think people are really aware of this style of beer is a lot of the issue. Like people IPAs get hyped up a lot, so more people are aware of them. But I think if people knew about this beer, then a lot more people would drink it because it's delightful and it's easy drinking and high alcohol. Like there's
this. Yeah, exactly. To me, this is a big thing. Like you get Left Blondes, and these are the 11.2 ounce bottles.
Yeah.
If you could get this you may still be able to get to this in the 750 milliliter, which is 25.4. Yeah, I don't even think you can get those anymore.
Not in the area.
No, but like if you poured this at a big meal like Christmas or Thanksgiving for a course, and you poured this would be perfect with like a huge big meal.
Oh yeah, Belgian beers are great with food.
For certain courses. I've never poured this beer and people are like, oh, I hate that. They're mostly like, this is sublime. This is really good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And which is why you talk about Belgian single, there's aren't a whole lot of examples. This is one of my favorite styles. A Belgian single, a Belgian blonde, unreal.
History-wise, when I was looking into the history of the Belgian Blonde, it essentially evolved the same way as like a triple did. You know, like all those pale, crisp lagers became popular. So Belgium was like, oh, we can make clear, crisp beers, but they don't really do lagers well. So they're like, oh wait, ours ended up being 8% and delicious and complex.
They're 6 to 8%.
But-
Yeah.
I mean, these are only like 6 or 7, but
This is why I want to go to Belgium to see if the movie In Bruges was true. And 2, if you go there and you order a beer, just give me a beer, which probably wouldn't get you anything.
No.
But if they were to accept that order, you probably get this.
Gotcha.
This would be the Budweiser of the Northern Europe,
Gotcha.
Netherlands,
Okay.
Belgium, Northern France kind of thing, which is fucking fantastic.
yeah.
I forgot how much I love this beer. Every time I drink it, I fucking love it.
Yeah, because the last time I drank one was when we were doing beer tasting, style tasting, when I was doing that Cicerone test. And yeah, we drank this one and we were like, oh yeah, this is a great beer. We should drink this more often, but we have not.
My dream is for someday AB to stop being ding dongs. Release this in a 4 or 6 pack, 16-ounce can, or 12-ounce cans. I don't
Sure.
care. Just release it in cans and just let her rip. And I, God bless him, I would fucking drink the shit out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Because
It's got
the
so
only-
much character.
I'm just trying to think. The only other things you could get consistently in a Belgian single, this came to mind. Devel single.
Yeah, Duvel's like a Belgian pale.
Yeah, it's not
So,
the same.
We'll get around to that.
So-
We'll
so-
drink some Duvel at some point.
By the way, so sorry.
Oh yeah, it's splitting hairs for sure. The difference between this and a Duvel, but
I'm just thinking
or,
anything that
or
is
Chouf, like a La Chouf.
yeah, anything that's a single and from Belgium is how I view it. And again, this you're talking Belgian Blonde here, so that's a lot different. But
Yeah, it's so much different than an American blonde ale
oh my god,
because they're just nothing. They're just water beers. Like
again, if you're on the river, I'll drink an American
Sure.
single blonde. Fine. This is pure fall to me.
So this is when people say beer is liquid bread. This is what I think of.
Yeah.
This and the what is the other one from Weinstefaner?
you like the Bienstefaner original,
Yeah.
the Munich Helles, which is a
Yeah.
great beer.
This is what I think of when they go, oh, beer was just liquid bread.
Liquid
This
bread
is, what I'm
is
thinking of.
historically what they would call Doppelbocks.
Okay.
Like Doppelbocks are the ones that they call liquid bread, but yeah, it's a great hearty beer.
It's very malty, I'm noticing.
This guy, it's got some
Yeah.
malt, but it's got a lot of yeast character too.
It's delightful. It is a delightful beer, but I can see where they have problems marketing it because it doesn't leave an impression other than it's delightful when I drink it.
I feel like they have problems marketing it because they don't market it.
Fair point.
But also,
Yeah.
the aftertaste, the lingering taste I'm getting, this is going to sound stupid, but the lingering taste afterwards I get is similar to what you get from like an elderflower liqueur, a Saint Germain, aka bartender's ketchup. It's very dancey. It's very dancey and like
Yeah.
skittly. It's
Yeah.
multiple like fruit flavors, and I can't nail it down. So you could call that floral or whatever
Yeah,
else,
floral,
but
yeah.
it's just endlessly interesting while being simple, which is counterintuitive.
Yeah, that's always
I'm
been,
in love with this fucking beer.
that's always been my issue describing Belgian beers. I'm like, there's no way to describe them. You just have to drink them. Because who fucking knows what you're gonna get from them?
How would you describe this? You're gonna love it. Fucking drink it.
I'm gonna give this a try.
So
Trust me.
eat shit. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's not good customer service. That's not
Trust me.
Oh, that's fine.
I love this beer. I've only brewed it maybe like once or twice, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. So
Did you do anything special when you brewed it, or I mean, is it a pretty
Um,
straightforward
the
beer
biggest
style? I mean, I'm
it-
sure like yeast choice is a big thing.
Yeah, it's all about the yeast. So the malt, there's 3 parts of homebrewing: the malt, the hops, and the yeast. Obviously, you want the water to be a certain way, but
Yeah.
in St. Louis we have pretty good water, so we don't have to worry about that with a lot of styles. The hops in this are very plain. You don't have to worry about that. You need to get hops for bitterness,
Yeah.
and then you don't want anything else. Very clean. For malt, again, pretty simple, but you want the right malts.
You just use like a pale ale malt, or
Yeah, but you want to use specifically. You want to use a Continental Pils or a European, but not British base malt.
yeah,
It's a nuance. You could do anything and it would be fine. Just don't do 6-row. If you have to, use 2-row. But you should be using a Pils base malt. That's
Yeah.
a little inside baseball. Fine. The real thing is comes with the yeast.
that is the point of this segment.
Yeah. Thank you. The real battle comes with yeast, and they
Yeah.
do have there's trouble. The Belgian yeasts come in a variety of strains, you don't want to go too high with a Tripel or a Saison yeast. You want a very specific base Belgian yeast. However, you want to take that yeast, and the big battle is propagating it up, to have enough cell count to hit the beer, hit the wort, to ferment everything. So if you don't put enough in, it'll get stressed and give off flavors. You get like hay, barnyard, bubblegum. What you want to do is build the prop up enough so enough yeast cells can attack the beer, convert it to sugar, from sugar to alcohol, and still give the right flavors off. So the big thing is the preparation of the yeast to get it in there so you get the right notes. What you should have at the end is very floral but very clean.
So kind of like a sourdough.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Essentially, you don't want to go too light. So what that means is you may not spend money on malt or hops or even yeast, but you do need equipment, a stir plate specifically, and a beaker to build up the yeast over a couple of days to get the proper cell count and then dump it in. So it's a relatively simple beer, but the money you save in material costs, you may spend the first time on equipment, but every time after that, you're good to go.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the only thing you have to worry about after that is if you keep brewing the beer. I like to brew Belgians off the same strain of yeast and recycle it.
Sure.
Until a point where it gets too stressed. So I had a Kolsch beer that I brewed once, it was awesome. Brewed twice, it was awesome. Brewed 3 times, it was fantastic. 4th time, it mutated.
Okay.
And when I brewed it, it wasn't so much a Kolsch, it's so much a Belgian Kolsch, a Bolsch.
Okay.
And it was still a delicious beer, but it was not what I was shooting for.
Yeah.
So you just have to be wary of how much you can proper the generations of the yeast, just like bread. They can start to get a little tangy, funky, weird.
A little too sour after some
Yeah,
days.
exactly.
Yeah.
So eventually you can wash the yeast and do so much, but you may have to start over.
Gotcha.
And I get it if you're a sourdough strain. We've had it for 130 years. We want to do it. Great. But it can
go sideways on you.
You have to treat it. Look at a big tree, and the base is where you start, and if every limb and a twig and a branch, whatever else, so many routes you can take.
Yeah.
Most of the time you'll be up the center, but you can't offshoot. So
Gotcha.
I'll shut up now and drink my Belgian blonde left ale.
Well, I remember when we talked about Weiss beer first episode.
See?
Like the main thing was to stress out the yeast.
Yep.
Because that's where all of those esters
phenols,
come from.
yeah.
Like that all comes from it being stressed out.
And it's not a bad thing here, but it can go
It can go off the rails.
style.
Yeah, for sure. So you want to keep it in that zone of.
This is a style similar to like how light lagers. Everyone can say like, well, AB's boring and Bud Light's terrible and Budweiser's terrible. I get it. It's not interesting, but to brew that beer consistently is, from a process standpoint, is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not interesting, but I couldn't brew a good lager or homebrew. I just don't have the equipment in the process.
Right.
I don't need to. But the same thing here is where in IPAs or everything else, you want extreme flavors. Here, you're trying to get good flavor without going off the rails.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's very hard to do. But most of the time, you'll hit close to the mark. So,
And I guess that's why lagers are such a big thing now. Like these these craft breweries are comfortable enough to take that chance to make a consistent lager.
And-
they feel like they've been doing it for long enough that they can do that.
and again, it comes down to tolerance. Like they have enough equipment, they have enough expertise where they can do it pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Are they going to be within 1/100% of tolerance like AB?
No.
No.
Are they going to be within the tolerance of 99% of the public?
Yeah.
So, if a brewery, just if they're canning, if it's 5 grams off, they kick it out. They're not going to sell it because it's underfilled in a can. I applaud that. You're being very tight with your tolerances. I get it. That's awesome. Appreciate that. But we call it in the industry the long tail. How much money are you going to spend getting everything perfect
Yeah.
to avoid a problem that only 0.01% of the population is going to notice?
Sure.
Juice squeeze.
Well, and I think the thing with lagers is isn't there a temperature range that's
They're
part of the
low
reason
temp.
why
Yeah.
St. Louis was so popular, like why lagers were so popular in St. Louis is because we have all these caves that just kind of naturally
Sure.
occur, and even in the summer,
That
we could,
limestone weird bullshit. Yeah.
right, we could keep it cool, which is what is important with lagers.
Right.
Keep it
Keep
cool,
it cool,
lagers.
It's the St. Louis motto.
Keep
No,
it
I mean,
cool,
Keep
man.
it cool.
And again, it's just, what do you feel like? What do you like? And I will say to the end, say to my dying breath, I don't necessarily like AB or really love their beers, but Budweiser is a perfect lager.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you are
So-
somebody who likes lager, Budweiser's where it's at.
There is a time if very rarely, but if I go to a baseball game, and after the baseball game I go to a bar and I get an ice cold Budweiser, it's rare that something's as good as that. It's
Right.
so good. If it's fucking so cold that I can barely drink it, and I've just been sweltering for 4 hours,
Sure.
unreal. But that's once a year,
Yeah.
so it's a love hate. I would much rather have Belgian Blond.
For sure. It's a great beer.
Yeah, I do. I like it. It has more flavor.
I'm gonna go buy
Infinitely drinkable.
I'm gonna go buy like probably a lot more. I keep getting reintroduced to this beer.
Well, that's the problem.
So
is
weird.
because it's so good. I feel maybe people forget about it. They
And
forget
it's-
about this could be a lawnmower beer.
Oh god, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Is
I
this
could sit.
is
and
this my
drink
leaf blowing beer?
It might be.
I'll
Because that's
foam
what they call
donut.
AB. You know, they call AB a lawnmower type of beer. You sit in your lawnmower, ride it around,
I gotta be honest
drink
with
your
you.
AB. This
The-
left could do the same thing and still give you a much more enjoyable flavor profile.
It's
Maybe
like
it's a bit
it's like
one
$8.
note.
Like it's like an $8
Eight-
six pack.
$8
Like
six
it's
pack.
not
It's-
expensive.
And also, it's what 5 or 6%, right?
6.6.
So it's not going to
Jesus.
plow you.
But
6.6,
it will knock
yeah.
you. It'll knock you
Well,
around.
what's AB at?
Budweiser.
What do you mean? Yeah,
let's
Budweiser's like
go with the straight
5.
Bud is 5. Bud Light is 4.2.
I mean,
This is 6.6.
6.6. It's not going to plow you over. You're not going to drink like 2 and be completely like
Let's
suddenly
put
you're
it
naked
this way.
driving your lawnmower down the street.
Let's put it this way: 2 left is more alcohol than 3 Bud Lights.
That might be true. Also, does it take you more than 3 Bud Lights to mow your lawn? I'm still on this lawnmower reference.
I can be honest.
Thomas,
I can be honest
mow
with you.
Thomas's lawn in one Bud Light.
First of all, I don't even mow my lawn. I fucking
How do you measure your lawn? How many Bud Lights you can drink?
$32. The amount I pay to have somebody mow my shit lawn. There's a lot of things I'll do. This is going off the rails. I will clean up somebody vomiting in a bar. I will do a lot of things. I will do plumbing. I will do anything. I don't like yard work.
Gotcha.
So how many beers does it take for somebody to mow my lawn? I have no idea because I don't do that.
Well, for the average person listening,
Yeah.
you know, if we are using this and we are going per like lawnmower beers per lawn, I feel like this
I'm
because
at-
you can sit and sip it. Like it's also unlike AB.
This is
there
why I want it in a
so
can.
much flavor. Yeah, there's enough flavor.
This will
here
be a
to make you kind of
2 or a 3.
A 2, yeah, exactly. A 2 or a 3. Like if I have 25 acres to mow down, I've got something wrong with me.
That's a lot of land.
I know.
I feel like you
That's
should
why I
do something
said
else with it besides have grass.
There's something wrong with me.
25 acres.
If
By the way, you could burn down my lawn in about 30 seconds. How many acres is this? 0.1,
okay,
maybe? I'm just saying 25 is a lot. And that's great. I love you that you want to mow that much lawn.
I don't want to mow any lawns.
Congratulations.
That's why we don't mow our lawn.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. I just want this shit in cans so I can pretend to mow.
Drink it any and
I can
everywhere.
pretend to low my lawn.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, this isn't something I can imagine myself sitting around doing yard work, drinking a beer,
Yeah.
hanging out with friends in the summer, drinking a beer
And-
on the river.
And
drinking
this
beer.
this style was one of the ones I brought up for when I got to brew my own beer down at the Rockwell. Ended up being an ESB because of the time frame of what they want to brew. I was like, I just really want to brew a kick-ass single.
Right.
I just want to brew an ESB. I just want to brew this. I would love to be like, oh, I want to brew a barrel aged vanilla fucking Kokomo, whatever, or I want to brew a quintuple IPA. Cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. How can I take a pretty simple style and make it darn good, pretty darn good, or like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like another 3 times, we'll nail this.
Yeah. Do you remember that when Bell's was doing that Planet series?
Yeah, Aries, Mars.
Aries isn't a planet, but yeah, you got the right idea.
First of all, Aries and Mars are the same planet, sir. Ares is Greek, Mars is Roman. Fuck you.
Do you remember the Neptune, the last one?
You mean Poseidon?
Do you remember what was all in that beer? I was talking about this the other day with somebody. It was
Neptune. It was
Neptune
9.
had, like-
it was like 7 things, right?
It was more than that. Okay, it's Neptune had. It's an imperial stout, I believe. Yeah, it's an imperial stout brewed with.
Can I guess?
Yeah,
Coffee,
no,
chocolate,
no,
vanilla,
no,
cinnamon,
no.
coconut.
You're doing great. No,
It's a stout,
it's an imperial stout. This is gonna make you hate Bell's so much.
bourbon,
Nope.
whiskey,
Nope.
scotch,
Nope.
ancho chilies, any chilies.
You're getting closer. Dried cayenne was one of them.
Okay.
These are the ingredients in this
I give
imperial
up.
stout: star anise,
Okay.
dried cayenne,
Okay.
raisins, dates, black pepper, hickory bark, dandelion root, nutmeg, grains of paradise, fenugreek seeds, and dates.
You said dates twice.
It says dates twice on Bell's website. Yes, you're correct. Good catch.
Thank God they got the fenugreek in there.
Also brewed with maple syrup, molasses, and cane sugar, in addition to hops and malts.
So it's a fruitcake.
This is the stupidest beer. Yeah, essentially.
It's a old
Yo,
English
shit, yeah, it is.
fruitcake.
Do you know what this beer tasted like?
A fruitcake.
A diabetes syringe?
It tastes like a fucking imperial stout. You could taste any of that other shit in it. It's too much stuff to throw together.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
a
you could
lot.
do? You know what you could do to save yourself some trouble? We made imperial stout. Got it. We brewed it with all this shit. Did you really? Nope. We put
Nope, we
Belgian
just-
dark candy sugar.
Yeah.
It'll taste like dates and fucking fenugreek. And
Yeah.
honestly, if somebody came to you and
Fenugreek
said,
and maple syrup taste like the same shit.
They sure do.
Do one or the other.
also, if anybody came to you and said, "Doesn't this beer taste like fenugreek, wasn't it?" You go,
No, I taste maple syrup.
or you go, "Yes."
Yeah.
No? Sure? Would
I
you
think
honestly
so.
go like, "I know fenugreek"?
Any breastfeeding mother would know that because I think it's fenugreek
Wow.
that you use. Is it?
Wow.
Yeah, it's fenugreek that you use to help increase
Way to-
breast milk production.
Way to egg-splain things to me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Ovo-splaining.
But yeah, you should have thrown that one out there when you were.
If only I knew a Bell's rep who have open availability to. Inside jokes, inside jokes.
That
But
does
yeah,
sound
one
like
of the
it should-
dumbest, most pretentious Bell's beers ever, and that's saying something.
Are they
It
gonna?
does sound like it should taste like a fruitcake.
I can't wait.
Old English fruitcake.
Have they done anything other than Mars and Neptune?
They did 9. Yeah, they did all the planets.
All of them?
Yeah.
What did Earth
What they're
taste like?
right now?
Uranus.
Ah! It
Pluto?
is pretty earthy. Oh, I thought
Yeah.
you were saying that in response to what did my Earth
Right now,
taste
they
like?
have a series
What did
that's
Earth
the.
taste like?
Also, yes.
They have a series called the Leaves of Grass series, where every beer is named after a Walt Whitman poem.
Oh, for heaven's
Go fuck yourself.
sake. That's a little high end, even.
Hey, by the way, can you get me a Robert Frost poem and a fucking noose? Christ on a cross, like
Bell's is the most pretentious brewery in existence.
it really is.
Prove me wrong. If they would just chill the fuck out and just make beers and call them normal things, I would have so much more respect for them.
Can I ask you a question?
But they don't do that.
If you saw Bell's, and not know anything else about Bell's, if you saw Bell's Two Hearted on a shelf, and it didn't have that stupid fish orange teal design, and it had a design more like, say, Great Divide, Bell's or Great Divide Two Hearted, and it had like just a very simple, clean look, 16-ounce cans, you'd buy that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Instead, there's a fucking fish in his
Fish.
gill looking at me for 20 goddamn years. I'm just going like,
It's
I
not
don't like it.
attractive.
Also,
It's a good look.
I don't think it's a great beer. But also, maybe it's visually I don't like.
It's
You
It's a
you
solid
eat-
old school IPA.
You eat with your eyes. But truly, I mean, it's kind of that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy most of my wine. If I know wine, I like the wine, whatever
Mm-hmm.
else. But if I'm willing to try new wine, if it has a distinct label or story, I'm more likely to try it. Same thing
Right.
with cigar or beer or whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
But the moral of the
Double
story is
We aren't gonna
It's
publish any of
22.
this.
I think we're doing pretty solidly.
okay. I know I said the moral of the story is I didn't have a follow up to that. What's the moral of the story?
Drink more Belgian blondes. Belgian
Drink more
singles.
Belgian blonde ales. Drink less Bell's beer.
Think of it this way. If you are going into winter, or have experienced winter, you want to do a bonfire or whatever else, great. If it's coming towards summer, whatever else. And patio, if you're having any occasion where you would drink wine, specifically red wine, that sort of comfy, nice occasion where you may drink red wine or anything else, the Belgian Blonde would be a good thing where you could drink similarly in a very slow, comfy, relaxed situation. I wouldn't recommend this in the summer. If it's above like 30% humidity, eat shit. No, I probably wouldn't do it. But this is a good
Most of the year.
This is a good couch beer.
Okay.
An air-conditioned couch beer. This would be a good winter beer, a good bonfire beer, that sort of thing. If you have a drop of sweat on you, this is not the beer for you.
See, this is where you and I are going to disagree.
Really?
Yes, because I do believe that this
just
is
here, nowhere else in the course of the evening.
We are peas in a pod.
Because I do believe that this could be a year-round, hot, cold,
Really?
weather kind of beer. I don't think it's... When I think of winter cold beers, I think of very heavy, very spicy, very...
I'm with it.
almost not gut busters kind of beers, but that's what I'm talking about. Whereas,
Ghostbusters.
you know what I mean? Like the ones that just, they hit you and you're just like, and I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
But this, I feel like you could totally do with a summer activity. Nothing overly strenuous.
Sure.
If you're pushing a lawnmower, maybe don't drink this beer because it will be too heavy. But if you're sitting on a lawnmower, it's fine. You know, same with you're out in the garden, you want to crack a cold one. This stuff will do the job, and I think it'll do the job and give you more flavor, more bang per buck than say your Budweisers and your Bud Light.
Sure. Yeah, I was just looking on. I was on Beer Advocate looking to see if Bell's had ever made a Belgian Blonde ale, just to tie it all together. They do have one listed. It only has one rating, so who knows. But would you care to take a shot at what Bell's would call its Belgian Blonde ale, being the most pretentious brewery possibly in existence? It's a word that is not a word.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's nonsense. I don't even know what it's trying to reference necessarily, or if it's really a real beer, because like I said, it only has one single rating. The review says, golden ale brewed with code beans. Do you know what a code bean is?
Code bean?
Code bean.
Code bean.
Are they trying to say cocoa bean?
I don't know. Golden ale brewed with code beans. If that sounds interesting, it is. Mild malt and light hops, toasty dry, coffee flavor. Overall, not bad. The name of this beer is Robusta Cabra.
So it's a
Cocoa bean, maybe?
Robusta is a type of cocoa bean, or a type of coffee bean.
Yeah. Maybe that's a spell.
That might be a spelling
Autocorrect.
issue. Code bean makes legitimate.
Code bean.
Code beans.
Come at
Either
me.
way, I'm going to say no to Bell's making a Belgian Blonde ale. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, because I feel like any sort of beer that you brew with a coffee in it is going to be heavier, it's going to be richer, and it's going to be something that you kind
I
of want to
can't-
sit and savor.
I can't imagine having roasty coffee flavor in a Belgian Blonde ale. That seems...
yeah.
It's similar
Oh,
to
yeah.
the Schlafly where they have like the coffee blonde.
The double bean?
Yeah. I don't like that.
I like that.
I get it, but I
blonde
don't like it.
That one I don't mind because American blonde ales are fairly neutral flavor-wise, so you can add other flavors to them. Like I like that Four Hands Hoppy Blonde, the Send Help that they don't ever do anymore.
I like Send Help.
Send Help's good. I like the chocolate coffee blonde from Schlafly. I think that's one of the better beers they've made in a while.
I don't disagree that it's a bad beer. I'm just saying I don't crave that beer.
No, but it makes more sense to do it to an American blonde than to a Belgian blonde that's got a lot of character.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. That's all I had to say really about Belgian blonde ales. You got anything else to add?
Drink more of them.
Drink
Like I
more of
said,
them.
But
Indeed.
seriously, I think it's a year-round beer that you will thoroughly enjoy and get more bang for your buck on a flavor profile than a
I don't disagree with that.
Budweiser.
I don't disagree with that. I view this personally. I want this more in winter than summer. That being said, I drink Guinness in the summer, so I drink this in the summer.
Right.
There you go. Enough said.